What is going on, geeks and gamers? It's your boy QMG, and welcome to another episode of Into the Quniverse NewsBreak, where we break down everything in the world of gaming, nerdiness, comic books, movies, and television. Yes, we're all encompassing like that, and today it's breaking news. Yes, we've been talking about this since the jump off of Into the Quniverse, and now we have reached another chapter in the amazing world of Spider-Man. Now, if you've watched our Into the Quniverse podcast episodes, you would have known that Spider-Man had left the MCU. There was a fallout between Disney and Sony about the movie rights for Spider-Man, and as it stood as of a week ago, Spider-Man would be leaving the MCU and he would be making no more appearances. Well, if you are one of the people who didn't want that to happen, then rejoice, because all has seemingly came back to the way it was once before, and Marvel and Sony were able to ink out, well, not even ink out, but probably more accurately to say, reestablish the previous deal, in that Marvel now has their one more movie back to implement Spider-Man into the MCU. Now, let me make this very clear. This only goes for one mainline Spider-Man movie and one appearance in an outside Spider-Man movie. So, for example, Spider-Man 3, whatever it's going to be called in the MCU, and, I don't know, Avengers 5, Young Avengers, something along those lines. So, it'll be interesting for sure to see where does the great one, the Webhead himself, shows up in the MCU moving forward. Last week on Into the Quniverse, I spoke personally on how I was very underwhelmed with the MCU's interpretation of Spider-Man, and how I felt like they completely underutilized him and played him more of a sidekick, more as opposed to his more iconic and recognizable self as Spider-Man. And I didn't care that Marvel and Disney lost to the movie rights and they had to give them back to Sony. But now seeing that the news has gone back to Disney and Marvel rather, having the rights back to Spider-Man, I have to say my mood really hasn't changed as much. I'm not gonna bemoan anybody who was sad that this happened and are now happy that it's been overturned. Well, some people kind of take it a little bit too far, so, they kind of needed to be prodded a little bit. But for others, like Q, for instance, I'm not going to really hammer home my not non-enthusiasm about it. But who knows? They hinted at that when this is over with and those two movies are done, that there will be crossing over with Spider-Man once he goes back to Sony and vice versa. So who knows what this all will end up entailing when all is said and done. So it'll certainly be interesting to see where this goes moving forward and just how much we are going to see differently than what was done before, if any. So, for those who didn't see Far From Home, it left off on one heck of a cliffhanger. So at least those who were enthused about the way the movie ended can now get a sense of resolution from that plot point. And who knows what Marvel will do. Also, the release date for Spider-Man 3 is July 21st, 2021. So I guess they were locking that down as soon as possible. They didn't want to miss anything. So I stated this before, that this will probably lead into summer, if not a year before the summer of the introduction of the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. So I'm 100% sure that's what they're trying to lead into, because 2021 is when all of the lesser known Marvel movies would have been out the way. Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange 2, and Thor 4. So that'll be something to look forward to. Close out the year with Spider-Man, I guess back home, I guess they'll call it. I'm not all too sure. But yes, that's all for the news break for today. Thank you for watching and listening. If you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And when you subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell and share it on whatever social media platforms you may have. This has been your boy QMG, and I am signing